Hello everyone, welcome to Topper IAS. So as part of our daily series, today we will also continue with the thing, concept, topic related to mains, and we already started with the judicial activism, and today also we will continue with the same thing. Okay, so let's get started then. So judicial activism. So name itself says active role played by the judiciary. Okay, so proactive role played by the judiciary. Why it is so active? It is active to protect the rights of the citizens and also to promote, justice in the society. How does it do this? By shaping the social policies which influence civil rights, protection of individual rights, which calls for environmental protection and also protects weaker sections. Okay, for example, like uh, Supreme Court has asked the government to give what all the things it is doing to help the migrant laborers, have a database of migrant laborers so that their food requirements all can be met. So this is an active role of judiciary. So judiciary plays this role to protect the weaker sections of the society. Okay, and even environmental protection and all these things also are part of this. So this is a judicial activism. So we have seen reasons for the growth of judicial activism and all those things. Apart from that, we also come across a term judicial overreach. Okay, so judicial overreach occurs, when a court goes or acts beyond its jurisdiction and it interferes in the areas which fall within the executive or legislature mandate. Okay, so what is the issue here? This is contradictory to doctrine of separation of power. So separation of power, basically every sphere like judiciary with a justice delivery, execute legislature lawmaking sphere, and executives implementing the laws, bringing out rules and all. So each of these sphere has their own functions, legislative, judiciary, and executive. Okay, but what happens in judicial overreach is judiciary goes beyond its jurisdiction and intervenes in the functioning of executive, intervenes in the functioning of the legislature. So what do you mean by intervening? I mean the sense rule making is a executive sphere. So judiciary also makes the rules. Judiciary also directs the legislature, come out with the laws and all those things. So that is a clear indication of judicial overreach when it goes beyond its jurisdiction and intervenes in the executive or legislature mandate. Okay, where all it is reflected, in kind of a law enforcement, policy making, or framing of laws, that intervene the executive code, executive actions. So these are all the examples of judiciary overreach. Then one of the main reason that is cited, for a judicial activism or judicial overreach is public interest litigation. So what was the thing with respect to this is, earlier individual could approach the courts only if he has been personally aggrieved. Okay. So, but this concept went a major change in 1979. So what was the thing in the sense? Only people who were aggrieved can go to court and file a case. But what public interest litigation concept says is, even the person who is not aggrieved, but in the interest of the public, he can also approach the court. Why this was made? Because to make the justice reachable to even poor people. You see, poor people are there, lack of basic things, even illiterate also, literacy level is low, and they're ignorant, and then they're not aware of even their rights also. So sometimes there will be issues in the society which will be affecting them, but they do not know how to fight for their rights also. So a person who is public spirited, who wants to help the poor people, on behalf of these people, can approach the court for that benefit. So that is what the public interest litigation is. A publicly interested person can approach the courts on behalf of marginalized or vulnerable sections. Okay, so this is to make justice accessible. So that was the main reason people started approaching the court, and Supreme Court also accepted a public interest litigation by doing with away with this only person aggrieved should come. So that gave rise to judicial activism and overreach. So there are we will see instances where judicial activism uh, is visible. So that also so a number of cases which have been we have seen positive outcomes because of active judiciary. Okay, so the first one is with respect to evolution of basic structure of the Indian Constitution. So in Keshavanand Bharti case, okay, you all know Constitution does not mention nothing like basic structure and all those things. The basic structure concept doctrine was evolved by judiciary in Keshavananda Bharti case. So what is this basic structure? In the sense, so judiciary said, that Parliament has wide powers to amend the Constitution, but this power could not be used in an unlimited way to abridge, abrogate, or destroy the basic structure of the Constitution. So basic structure, certain fundamental ideals, fundamental principles, which cannot be taken away by even the Parliament. This is what the basic structure is. And so certain parts of the Constitution which are considered basic structure cannot be amended at all. So meaning of that is basic structure. And also Supreme Court has a liberty, is at liberty to include more provisions or concepts as a basic structure in near future also. See, as of Supreme Court did not at for once define what all things come under basic structure. So it is open, as in with the new verdicts also many things are getting part of basic structure. So this was a example of judicial activism. Then another case also, with respect to Menka Gandhi case versus Union of India. So this is also instance of judicial activism where Supreme Court introduced the concept of due process of law. Article 21, right to life and personal liberty, provides no person shall be deprived of his life except for the procedure established by the law. So we had procedure established by the law. So if the procedure is the procedure this was a procedure established by law. So with the law you can also take away the life, so if you go by the procedure established by the law. But under the due process of law, the procedure itself has to be just, fair, and reasonable. You cannot come out with the unfair, unreasonable law and take away the life of the people. So this is this kind of interpreting the reasonableness of the law itself is possible in due process of law. So we had procedure established by law, but the Supreme Court introduced due process of law also in Menka Gandhi case. So broader interpretation and all these things. So this is also example of active role of judiciary. Then in the same case, court went on to say that right to life embodied in Article 21 is not, right to life is not a just mere animal existence, but it includes all those rights which makes man's life worth living, meaningful, and complete. Okay, so those are all things. So it has included n number of things under right to life. For example, recent is right to privacy. So right to privacy is a part of Article 21, right to life, right? So a number of things have been included that makes man's life meaningful, complete, and worth living. So this was also possible because of judicial activism. So actively it has broadened the scope of meaning of the terms also. Then we also have you see 2G case, 2G scam. This will be again sometimes will be in the news, often in the news, newspapers. So 2G scam. So what happened is judiciary cancelled 2G allocated spectrum. So around 122 telecom licenses and spectrum that was allocated to 8 companies was cancelled by Supreme Court, because what the reasoning was, process of allocation is flawed. Okay, and not only it stopped there, it also directed government to allocate natural resources through auction only. So it also directed, cancelled, then it directed. So this is also example of judicial activism and overreach. See, actually economic decisions, a domain of legislature and executive bodies. So Supreme Court has directing them to conduct auction only. So that is the example of judicial overreach. Then we have collegium system of appointment. You know the system. CJI and 4 senior most judges, recommending appointment and transfer of judges in higher judiciary. So this was also possible because of varied interpretation of the judiciary, concurrencies, consultation and binding, all those things, interpretations. So we have first, second, third judges case. So collegium system as a whole was a result of various interpretation under these judges cases, three judges cases. So this was also possible because of judicial activism. By doing this, it has maintained the independence of the judiciary. Okay, so independence of judiciary is also part of basic structure of the constitution. So another thing which was bit of controversial was ban on sale of liquor, around 500 meters around national and state highway. What Supreme Court, on the basis of PIL, Supreme Court banned the sale of liquor at retail outlets, hotels and bars that are within 500 meters of any national or state highway to protect accidents and a number of things. Actually, this was an administrative matter, so the decision has to be done by executive, but Supreme Court intervened here also. So that is also instance of judicial overreach. Okay, so that's what few cases you should remember, because Keshavanand Bharti case, you should know that collegium system and instances of some where judicial overreach also criticized also, like ban on liquor and all those things. So that's it for today. You can also download the PDF of document in the link that is given below. Thank you.